Hey everyone, welcome back to Paper Therapy with Amy. I am here today with my dirty old mat. This is my mat I do things on that I'm not worried about the background, ruining the background. So I wanted to show you how to make these geotags as promised. And I decided to do a separate little tutorial video. This one here is with a 90-degree angle. If you like that, then you do a circle that comes almost 3/4 down and you add a 90-degree angle to the bottom. I didn't really like this one. I liked it to be more of a point. So this is just over a 45-degree angle. So that kind of gives you an idea. So I'm going to use the Creative Memory Circle cutting system. You can do it with dies, but this is just what I use, and I will kind of tell you how you do it with dies as well. I've taped this down onto this grid background, and I'm going to do my circle. I'm going to try not to get my head in the way. But I'm trying to center my circle in here as best as I can. And then I'm going to come down past this line here. I want to come down past it. So almost to this one. So here's my closest. This one cuts closest to this circle. So let's start. I said almost to this one. So let's start there. And we're going to go all the way around. And we're going to stop at the same spot on this side. And then I'm going to go back and forth a few times to make sure I've got it cut through. Okay, that's good. It's a little bit, I didn't go quite as far here, but that'll be okay. So now this to here is about 2.5 inches. So we're going to measure from there. Yeah, that's about 2.5 inches. So we're going to measure from there another 2.5 inches. So that's about here. Then we're going to come down straight from this side and straight from this side. We're going to measure across this. And this is about just under 3.5. So to find center, I'm going to go 1 3/4, and then I have to go just under that because that's what would be halfway. So now we're going to put that down there actually. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure here, go along my circle, and then it's just going to come down to a point to here. And I'm going to do the same thing from this side. This side's actually, I should have come farther on this side. This doesn't look, see how that doesn't look quite right? Because this is when the round was starting to come down, that's when I went straight. So what we're gonna do here, that's not the right eraser. Of course, my eraser has been misplaced. So I'm using, this does work, but it doesn't work great. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna just follow this circle. I'm just going to actually draw it a little bit longer because I didn't draw it quite long enough. And then we're going to try doing it like that. That's better. That looks better. So you have to make sure you cut far enough down. You see how that makes a better shape? All right. Another option is to use circle dies. So I have these ones. They're from my Close to My Heart stash. And then you just kind of try out how big you want your circle, inner circle to be. So I think that one's a little too big. I would probably go with this one. I think that looks the nicest. So then what you do is tape this in place and cut that out. Now, if you wanted to use a die cut rather than this system, what you're going to do, so this is my largest die, so I would use this one. And what you're going to do is when you make your sandwich, I'll use this paper here, you're going to let it hang off of here, and then you're going to cut with your die. So remember, we had to go quite a bit past center because we want to do the angled parts from about here, right? So we're gonna go like that, and then you put your other one on top and you cut that out. So what happens when you cut that out, this paper's got a little smear, but I'm using scrap paper for this. So what happens when you cut that out is you're left with this, right? It's still attached here because this was sticking off the plates. Now this you can cut with your paper trimmer if you're a perfectionist, or you could cut with your scissors. I actually did it with my scissors usually, but here I'll do it with my paper trimmer. Just to show you, you can do both. All right. So we're gonna go like that, and you just cut those right off there. There we go. So there's that. And then right here, I hadn't gone quite far enough, so we'll just continue that circle and just skip that. So that's one of my geotags. And I always think everything looks a lot better with ink on it. So let's just use some residual ink from here to define those edges. There. So that's one. Let's get this stuff out of the way. And you have a leftover circle as well. So that one's a little smaller than that one. But it all depends on your first circle. Okay, so now I've got this one. Let's just tape this in place on the desk because that really helps. Okay, again, you want this part to be about as much as, like, how far you cut onto here. You want to double that distance when you get to here. I feel like I'm saying this all wrong, but I'm doing my best. So let's go like this. So if this, oops, let's do inches. If this is about 2 1/4 inches, then you want from here down to also be about 2 1/4 inches. So 2 1/4 is about there. Then I can just eyeball that, but I want it in the center. It's quite important that it's in the center. So let's go and make some pencil lines like this. And like this. Now we're gonna go across here, right where my little line is, and I'm gonna go, okay, so this is almost 3. So 1 1/2 and a little bit less should be about the center. It doesn't have to be perfectly exact, but it helps. So now you want to go along this as if the circle's continuing. So as if the circle's continuing like this, but now you're going to go straight down to the point. If you do it from too high up, you get like an ice cream cone. You get like with a circle on the top and then straight lines. You want this circle to kind of continue and then go straight into. And even here, I find this is maybe a bit too sharp. I should have come a little bit farther. So that would mean it would be a little bit like that. But I'm going to freehand this one instead of using my trimmer. So let's go like this. And this is where we kind of want to go like that. So this is a bit of a shorter one. And there we go. This side isn't quite as perfect, but you know what? Ink covers a multitude of mistakes. Let's go like that. Okay. And then you have to cut the center out yet. So you just, decide what kind of circle, what size circle you want in the center. And you tape your die on there and then you put your circle there. So here is the kind of 3 that I've made. I'm not going to cut the center out of that one, but that shows you how to do it. So step 1 is you need to cut a circle that goes 2/3 of the way down. So, right? Step 2, you need to measure how far it is to the where you stopped cutting and double that to the point. Step 3 is you want to make lines going straight down and find the center point. And step 4 is you go from the center point as far down as this was, and you go straight up to the edges, and you end up with your geotag. So I think that makes a pretty great geotag, and they always end up to be a little bit more than 45 degrees when I do it this way. So that's just what seems to look the best. And when you cut this circle out of here, that really seems to make them look a little bit better too. Here, I've got an orange circle here, so let's put that in there. They just look a little better with that circle out of the middle or with another circle on the middle. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it that thumbs up, and I hope you learned something and you enjoy creating your own geotags, whether they be, you can make them any size from small to really large. See ya.